Good evening, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Had a good Sunday. My name's Steve, and once a week, I want to get online and vent about a few things and laugh at some funny stories. And that's what I'm going to do. Have a list of things that I found interesting this past week. So let's dive right into it. Normally, I have a clip I make fun of Joe Biden a little bit. This is a little different. This was, I guess, kind of like a SNL Saturday Night Live version in Saudi Arabia or something. So check this out. Oh, they got Kamala coming on stage. That's so crazy. But seriously, why does Joe Biden, every time he gives a speech, this happens? It happens so much that another country's even making fun of it. Pretty funny. The rest of this. Yeah, so Saudi Arabia's. Oh, it's a state-run media network. Yeah, mocking Joe Biden and Kamala. Pretty funny. Anyways, not as good as the real thing. We don't even need to mock them because I'm sure I could have easily found a clip of Joe Biden saying something he shouldn't have this past week. But it is interesting that another country was mocking him. All right, so hey, before we get into some goofy stories, I found an AI generator for images. It's called, it's called Midjourney, and it's on Discord, and which I don't ever use Discord, so it was kind of confusing to me because I had to learn how Discord works, which is not very complicated, but still. Basically, you type in a prompt, and it'll generate 4 images for whatever you typed in. And I saw some really cool ones that people did, but I have like 4 or 5 that I did. I just wanted to show just because it's pretty crazy what this AI stuff's actually doing from just taking text and generating images. And this is only going to improve. So the first image I did, I typed in Donald Trump using a hair dryer and it blows his hair off. All right. Watch this. This is what it generated. And some of these don't even look like him. Like this doesn't really look like Trump. And I don't know, this is a microphone, so I'm not exactly sure what it was doing. The next one I did was Joe Biden smashing a guitar on stage. And instead, it just gave me 4 images of him playing the guitar. This one's pretty good. It pretty much looks like him. This one's like real goofy. This one, his face is melting off. But not bad for an AI generated thing. The next one, I put Jesus Christ celebrating coming out of the grave, conquering death. Something to that effect. And this is what it gave me. Kind of funny, but again, just like the Joe Biden one, some of these faces are really freaky looking. And they're all done in like the style of an old painting, which I guess makes sense because most depictions of Jesus are old kind of style paintings. I didn't give it that directive, but that's what it did. The next one, I had Osama bin Laden celebrating a game-winning goal in the World Cup. And this is what it gave me. And yeah, kind of similar. Some of these don't really look like Osama bin Laden, at least not what's in my head, but pretty funny. It even generated these folks in the background. This one at least makes sense. There's a goal in the back here. and it looks like he's sliding, celebrating. So this one's pretty good. The last one I did, kind of boring, but I did Fauci behind bars. And okay, this one doesn't really look like Fauci. This one, aw, poor Fauci, he's so sad. Anyways, if you want to check that out, it's called Midjourney. Just look it up and it'll direct you to their Discord channel where you can have fun with this and come up with some fairly creative things. And it did a pretty decent job. Anyways, let's get on to the crazy stories of the week that I thought were clown world type of news. This is an actual article. Transgender woman posts sobbing selfie in JFK bathroom after claiming a female TSA agent punched her testicles and left her in extreme pain. An actual journalist had to write her testicles in the headline. I mean, does anything else need to be said on this? But I did click on the article. I read it. Let's go through a couple paragraphs here because it is kind of funny. Now, and I'm not trying to totally make fun of this person because TSA is out of control. So it says a transgender woman was left in tears after a TSA agent punched her in the testicles while going through security. Okay. This person says that the TSA agent followed him into the women's bathroom and began talking about me to a coworker while I sobbed in a stall. And this person was asking friends on the internet for advice as to what he should do, whatever. In a follow-up post, she said she was left crying for over an hour and said, quote, "My balls still hurt so bad." I'm sorry. This is so crazy. So it ends with saying she did not want the TSA agent to be fired. Well, if the TSA agent assaulted you, if someone punched me in the balls, I'd want him fired. She said in a separate post, but wanted, quote, her educated and the entirety of TSA abolished altogether. Well, that I can certainly agree with. I mean, TSA should absolutely be abolished altogether. And in response to the woman's post, JFK Airport apologized for the incident. They said, quote, "We apologize again for your experience." Oh, they tweeted that and said, quote, "Your comments have been noted and shared." So there's definitely more to this story than what we're getting. I mean, I've got felt up at the airport before. I think I'm on some kind of list because every time I go, not every time, but it seems like half the time at least, I go through one of those scanner things where something's flagging, loose shirt or something. And my pockets are empty. I know the drill. Still get felt up. And they make a point of it. They're like, "Do you want us to go in a room?" I'm like, "No, we're just going to do this right here, right in front of everyone." And they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to use the back of my hands to rub your balls," and all this kind of stuff. Completely unnecessary. Now, I will say, I got pissed at the TSA one time because my son, who was 14 at the time, had this same exact thing done to him going through the scanner thing, which, first off, I don't even think minors should be going through that scanner thing. But we have no choice, essentially. And sure enough, some dude kind of felt him up with the back of his hand, which really friggin' pissed me off. Yes, TSA should be abolished. But in any case, this is the clown world we're living in, where journalists are writing her testicles. While we're on the topic of trans issues, this past week, the international governing body for track and field will ban trans women athletes from elite women's competitions, citing a priority for fairness over inclusion, despite limited scientific evidence of physical advantage. Come on. So, I mean, this headline is something else. So they said they're banning trans women athletes from elite women's competitions, citing a priority for fairness over inclusion. As if that isn't enough, then they say, despite limited scientific evidence of physical advantage. Are these people are out of their minds? They're gone. Okay? Do you need a scientific study to come to the conclusion that men have a competitive advantage over women? I mean, they can't even bring themselves to say that. We are living in clown world. This is clown world right here. And NPR's near the top of that list. I can't take it anymore. So that's why I'm sitting here talking to myself in the corner of a bedroom, posting this online. Like, am I going crazy? You know? See dumb articles talking about her testicles, and then NPR talking about, oh, there's no scientific evidence that men have a physical advantage over women. I mean, this is dead nuts. I can't get over it. Speaking of dead nuts, CNN actually posted this, and I think this was yesterday or today. An article. It says, quote, if you're white and you've posted a gif or a gif or meme of a black person to express a strong emotion, you may be guilty of wearing digital blackface. What's digital blackface, and why is it wrong when white people use it? If you're white and you've posted a gif or gif or meme of a black person to express a strong emotion, you may be guilty. It just says the same thing. So they posted this article on Twitter, and as you can imagine, the replies to this tweet were they made it too easy. You can't post something on this like this on Twitter. I don't even think I saw a single replied tweet that agreed with this or what. I mean, everyone said this was crazy. But I'm going to share some of the funny responses, at least the images they've posted, because that's what this article was about. So the first one was pretty obvious. Ain't nobody got time for that, which is the picture they used in their article. And he's saying, ain't nobody got time for CNN's ridiculousness. Agreed. A lot of these were GIFs. I say GIF. I don't know if it's GIF or GIF. I say GIFs, but yeah, a lot of them are GIFs, so I had to like take a screenshot of them because they were in motion. I wasn't going through the effort of downloading these mini videos, but stuff like this, of course, right? That's a classic. Ooh, Natalie said, what do you mean, you people? You'd had to have seen this movie for that to make sense. A Friday reference. Damn. Of course, this is a classic. I mean, who hasn't posted this meme? Steve Harvey rolling his eyes. Sure. You are so dumb. What you talking about, Willis? And then Danny Polshuk, he's a comedian, said, I only post memes with whites in them to keep my meme bloodline pure. They just let anyone write at CNN. What a dumb article. Speaking of dumb articles, I promise you this is real. I looked it up. I almost took snippets from this article, but I did look it up. It was like on Medium, which I think is like a thing where anyone can blog post, kind of like Substack type of thing. Why waking up early is rooted in white supremacy. You guessed it. Everything's white supremacist. I'm sure, in fact, I should have done this if I Googled why staying up late is rooted in white supremacy. I probably would have found an article saying that too. So, and of course, this article was garbage. It wasn't even worth going through. Moving on. Balenciaga has been in the news the past few months for their satanic, child-loving advertisements, but I saw this and was cracking up. This is a screenshot someone did. This isn't like an ad that shows up on my phone because I had never even heard of Balenciaga before their scandal erupted. They're actually selling jeans that look like that for $2,450. I mean, that looks like you lost a battle with a paper shredder in a coal mine. These rich people have too much money. They don't even know what to do with their money. And what are these shoes? So atrocious. I'm not like I am not into clothes. I basically just go to Kohl's. So I am not a fashion snob. If Kohl's don't have the clothes, I don't buy them. Actually, I did buy this t-shirt. It's a Bitcoin libertarian shirt I got at some libertarian event, but isn't that crazy? All right, have you heard about what's going on in Paris? It's dead nuts over there. So, apparently, in France, they want to raise the retirement age. This is my understanding of what's going on. They want to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64, with the logic being that people's life expectancy is increased over the past, few decades or whatnot. And they're saying they need to do this for financial reasons that'll help them be more solvent, et cetera, et cetera. So there's riots and everything galore. And again, I stole this off of Twitter, so I don't know with 100% certainty, but it's my understanding this is somewhere in France. What? Watch this. There's a literal fire and explosion going on back here. These folks aren't even looking at it. This guy's on the phone pretending everything's hunky-dory. These people are just carrying on with their conversation. She took a glance at it. This is wild. These guys just going about their business. Look, they're not even looking. I don't know. Is someone adding fuel to that fire? Because it's like going and like flaring up. I think people are throwing fuel on the fire, literally. Or something's exploding or something. It's wild. So they're literally this meme. Like, this is fine. Can you imagine if they did something like that in the US? I don't know how people would react to that. I don't know if they'd burn stuff. Yeah, they might. I mean, if you were a month away from retirement and then you found out, oh, nope, you're going to have to work another couple years. Have to say you'd have some pretty pissed off people. Although they are looking to do that with Social Security, at least some people are. But that would be pretty nuts if that were to happen. Here's the next crazy article. American IQs are dropping. Here's why it might not be a bad thing. Are you kidding me? I debated going through this article, but I want to keep this stream somewhat short. And I had a couple other things I wanted to talk about as well, but yeah, I would say it's fair to say America's IQ is dropping. But that's certainly not a good thing, okay? Have you ever seen these videos on TikTok of this dude? But just, if you go to his channel, it's full of stuff like this. Watch this.
If you're driving 60 miles an hour and you drive for 1 hour, then how far do you travel?
If I drive for 60 miles an hour?
Yeah, if you're driving 60 miles an hour and you drive for 1 hour, then how far do you travel?
If I drive 60 miles an hour and I travel out, you said an hour away?
You've been driving an hour, yeah.
This is not a difficult question. I mean, the answer is in the question.
How far did I travel?
Yeah.
An hour away?
Yes. Do you know how many continents there are? Hey. Yeah, hey. Do you know which one we're on? No idea. Can you name 3 countries in Africa?
No.
Can you name 2 countries in Africa?
He's like, no.
Nah. I don't know nothing. Can you name 1 country in Africa?
Africa.
Yeah.
At least he admitted he doesn't know anything. Oh my gosh. I guess you can blame some of this on lockdowns and whatnot because no one learned anything over the last year or two. But I don't think that's the problem. I think the problems run deeper than that. That certainly didn't help the situation, but yikes. I'm telling you, if you go look up this guy, Justin_AWAD, it's full of these. And they look real. Like, now granted, most of them are young kids, but he'll ask basic questions. Like, who did the U.S. gain their independence from? It's like you're asking them a trick question. They have absolutely no idea. Zero clue. Man, it's kind of depressing, but... And I guess that's not even IQ, it's just like knowing history. But there's a correlation there somewhere.
If you're driving...
All right, up in Ohio, Afro man had his house raided. Police busted down his door. They got a warrant because he was supposedly kidnapping someone. And they raided his home, didn't find anything. And of course, he had security footage in his house, and he used that security footage and made an album out of it, or at least a few songs. And let's go to the article. So this was last August. Yeah, this is in Adams County, Ohio. They busted in his home, armed with rifles and tactical gear. Yeah, they attained a warrant on suspicion of drug trafficking and kidnapping. Believe me, this story is funny. But after smashing down the door and scouring every inch of the house, they didn't find any drugs or, kidnapping victims. But of course, they did find some cash and they took that, which was later returned, supposedly, or at least partially returned. I read something else that was partially returned. So they eventually returned the money. A few months after that raid, He was pissed off, and especially because his young son was home at the time. Oh my gosh, I'd be so freaking pissed. I mean, I'd be pissed anyways, but especially if your son's there. These cops are out of control, man. So he made a couple goofy songs, and you kind of have to watch it to understand. So one of them is called Lemon Pound Cake. You've got to go to YouTube and check this out. Another one is called Will You Help Me Repair My Door? And it basically, the lemon pound cake one revolved around this officer clearing the kitchen. Look, he's got his Glock out. And he did a double take on this lemon pound cake sitting right here. And he made a whole song titled Lemon Pound Cake about the officer was wanting to have a slice of that lemon pound cake. It is so funny. I'm telling you, it's funny. They claim that because of Foreman's actions, the officers had been subjected to threats, including death threats. Doubt it. I doubt it. You guys lied about the warrant, or at least someone lied or had false information about the warrants even busting his house in the first place. So you're already known, proven liars. And they've also, quote, suffered emotional distress, embarrassment, ridicule, loss of reputation, and humiliation. Good. All of that should be happening. You should be embarrassed. You should have emotional distress, ridicule, loss of reputation, and humiliation. So it should happen. You go busting in someone's house for no freaking reason, destroying his property, stealing his cash, all while his son's there, and I don't think he was even there. Afroman said, they can tear my door off the hinges, steal my money, disconnect my camera, and now in their lawsuit, they're saying I'm humiliating them. They're humiliating me, so I guess I won the humiliation contest. Yeah, he's exactly right. He is exactly right. You got to go watch that video, though. All right, we're going to end on this wild clip here. These progressive Christians are out of control. And you can tell by the title of this video that this is already a train wreck. Buckle up for this one.
Drag is holy. There has been an assault on the rights of drag performers in this country.
Wrong. Or at least partially wrong. He said there's been an assault on the rights of drag performers in this country. The only assault on the rights of drag performers in this country is when they're doing it in front of minors. Drag performers have no business performing this stuff in front of little kids. And I've seen one too many videos of this happening. And it is disturbing, immoral, disgusting, you name it. In fact, I can't even watch them. I'll see it on Twitter. I can't even, I just, can't do it. And it's like, what are these parents doing? Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. So there hasn't been an assault on the rights of drag performers in this country. No, it's when they're doing it in front of kids. Freaking creep.
In this country, and we must call out the hypocrisy and the injustice. Jesus called himself a mother hen longing to gather up her chicks. Gender is a construct, you see. And if Jesus can be...
What? Oh, let him finish.
A mother hen, then you can dress in drag. I've even heard it said that Jesus was, and humanity is, God in drag.
What kind of point is this? I've even heard it said. What?
In drag. So let me say this again for those of you in the back. Drag is holy.
What's crazy is that there's actually people that attend this church, whatever church he's in. I didn't do a whole lot of research, and I don't even know what state this guy's in, but it's out of control. There's actually a YouTube video that I watched who tears this guy. In fact, I might link down below. I don't think it was in response to this exact clip, but it was the same dude spouting a bunch of nonsense, and some guy went point by point just shredding this guy. A million times better than what I can do. I may link to that. So I went to look up a couple verses. Well, I found the verse that he was referring to, but I found this in Isaiah 49:14 and 15. And you'll see why I'm bringing this up, because I wanted to look at the whole mother hen thing. But it says, "Yet Jerusalem says, the Lord has deserted us, the Lord has forgotten us. Never can a mother forget her nursing child. Can she feel no love for the child she has borne? But even if that were possible, I would not forget you." So it's obviously an analogy here, right? Now, this wasn't the verse he was referencing, but you understand how analogies work. Is that 99.9% of the time, mothers nurse their child or have love for the child, at least throughout history, right? Now, I get it. We live in a broken world, and broken people do broken things, and every now and then you'll have a mother who doesn't care about their child. But even if that were possible, the Lord says, I will not forget you. So similarly, in Luke, this is Luke 13:31 through 35. So I added these other couple verses because you got to understand the context of what he's saying. But at that time, some Pharisees said to him, "Get away from here if you want to live. Herod Antipas," I don't know how to say that, "wants to kill you." Jesus replied, "Go tell that fox," notice that I will keep on casting out demons and healing people today and tomorrow. And the third day I will accomplish my purpose. Yes, today, tomorrow, and the next day I must proceed on my way, for it wouldn't do for a prophet of God to be killed except in Jerusalem. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones God's messengers. How often I have wanted to gather your children together as a hen protects her chicks beneath her wings, but you wouldn't let me. And now look, your house is abandoned, and you will never see me again until you say blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord." So it's obvious, this is another analogy. Jesus told the Pharisees, go tell that fox. He's not literally calling him a fox. There's obviously an analogy of a fox going after, chicks, right? So, how often I have wanted to gather your children together as a hen protects her chicks beneath her wings. He's actually using this verse to say that it doesn't even need explanation. These guys are such obvious false teachers. It's sickening. But they do need called out, and I mean, what these guys need to do is repent, and there's no way that they actually believe this, right? They're just intentionally leading people astray under the guise of Christianity. That's what makes it even sicker. It's almost like when you see like an atheist or someone who just hates Christianity, you know what to expect from that person, right? But when they cloak when preachers like this cloak their teachings under the guise of Christianity or some perverted version of Christianity, it's all the more dangerous. I mean, and that's why in the New Testament, especially or throughout the Bible, so many times there's all these teachings about false teachers and false prophets. And I used to think naively that this was something that was done way back then, hundreds or thousands of years ago. We don't really have that problem now. Well, now that I've kind of gotten more into the Word and reading and active in church and, my relationship with Christ, it's really opened my eyes to how perverted and twisted some of these false teachers are. I mean, and this guy's, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a bunch of them. A bunch. And so they need called out and they need to repent. It's out of control. And that's not even the worst example. I mean, there's other videos too. I just happened to see this one this past week, and that's why I'm talking about it. But there's worse videos out there than this, that these progressive Christians are out there teaching people. In any case, that's all I got for today. I'm a little tired. I stayed up late last night. Actually watched a movie. I don't go out to watch movies very often, but I didn't get back till late. In any case, if you happen to have watched this, I appreciate it, and give it a like, and I will be back here next week, Sunday at 8 p.m. Thanks. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.